An hour, okay.
Perfect, we're live.
Yes, we did. Oh, there's a lot of people in here.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, everybody.
Happy Saturday.
Happy New Year, January 2nd.
Happy New Year. Wow.
All right.
Everybody from Dayton, Texas, Lancaster, New York,
Wow.
Illinois, Maryland, Australia. Wow.
South Carolina.
Missouri.
Happy New Year.
Washington, that's where I'm from.
Vancouver.
I see a lot of familiar faces and
oh my gosh.
Friends.
UK.
New Year. Hi, Kat. Oh my gosh. Hi, Susan.
Vivian's here. Danielle.
Georgia.
Yep, all of our friends. Good.
Yep.
Wow.
Old friends and new friends.
Yes.
Dr. Wolfson is here.
Beverly. Hi, Beverly. Hi, guys. Oh my gosh. Kathy. Hi.
Just let everyone log on then.
Wow. We've got people from all over. This is awesome.
Oh, Dennis is asking to see your ring, Christina.
Yes.
Hi, Ellen.
It was a very Merry Christmas.
For those of you that don't know, Christina, obviously you can tell, just got engaged. So we're very excited.
I missed our last little get together on the Facebook Live because I was still on my trip, but so thank you guys.
Oh, hi, Craig. Hi, Pam. Oh my gosh, everybody's here. All of our friends.
Hi, Nancy. Oh, hi, Colette.
Oh, hi, Michael. Hi, Pam. Wow, it's so fun to see so many familiar faces.
Yep, literally everyone's on here. That's awesome.
All our favorite people. We love you. Thanks for coming and joining us today. So we are so excited. We're excited to start the new year with all of you. Hi, Russ. Hi, Beth. We're gonna get going here. We're excited. So we're gonna be sharing or presenting a presentation. So you're gonna see our faces kind of shrink down a little bit and go down, and we're gonna kind of dive in.
Okay, we'll get that started.
So I'm going to just disable the chat then while we're presenting, and then we're going to open it up again at the end because we're going to do a little Q&A with you guys. You know, obviously we're going to be presenting some new information for you guys probably today, so we'll allow questions at the end.
Perfect.
All right. Awesome. Okay, so welcome everybody to our 3-day event. This is the FastTrack weekend to the Happy Heart Diet. And during these 3 days, we're going to be highlighting a key component of our Happy Heart Diet program, the intermittent fasting part. And we're so glad you're here to kick off the new year together as a tribe, and it's so fun to feel really connected to all of you, even though you're all from all over the world coming in to say hi to us. So we're going to be presenting some research and talking about our goals today, but welcome to the Happy Heart Diet Fast Track Weekend.
Okay, so before we dive in today to all we have to share, we wanted to share with you guys, for those of you who are new, who we are. So I'm Ashley, and I graduated from Iowa State University with a master's in nutritional science. I was an author on 3 peer-reviewed publications. I was a co-author in a textbook with Dr. Wolfson, a cardiovascular textbook. And I am the nutritionist and health coach at the Doctors Wolfson. I'm so passionate about helping patients get to the root of disease and heal with functional medicine and nutrition. And I'm so excited to work with you all as well.
And I'm Christina, the middle one in the picture there. So I got my undergraduate from University of Washington in Seattle in medical anthropology and global health. I minored in nutrition, then I went on to my master's degree in integrative and functional nutrition from Saybrook University. I've been working for Dr. Wolfson for about 4 years now. And I completed my dissertation recently too for the completion of my master's program on the beneficial effects of fasting, which is a little bit of what we're going to be talking about today. So it's a topic I'm super passionate about. I am also a certified health coach, and I'm just really passionate about teaching others about holistic living and how to incorporate more sustainable habits and lifestyle changes to really create long-term health and wellness.
And hi guys, I'm Carrington. I am a certified integrative health coach and a certified life coach. I've been coaching for almost 8 years now. And I have been working for Dr. Wolfson for 4 years, have my own practice for many years, but before that, and I'm just really passionate about getting to the root cause of illness and looking at not just, the physical aspects, but the, emotional and spiritual aspects of health and wellness and how those all kind of work together. So the three of us we love working together. We love working for Dr. Wolfson. We've been able to acquire so much knowledge in just this short amount of time we've been with him. Because he's brilliant and has taught us so much, and we've been able to work with so many of you. And so we kind of have gathered so much of what we've done one-on-one with our patients, and would like to sort of bring it to more people, to reach more people and help more people. So we're really excited.
So without further ado, welcome to our 3-day event. This is the Fast Track weekend to our Happy Heart Diet. So during these 3 days, we're going to be highlighting some of the key components of our Happy Heart Diet program. And the intermittent fasting part is what we're really going to be focusing on for this. So if any of you have been interested in fasting, maybe you've dabbled in it yourself, you want to get more educated about it, this is definitely going to be perfect for you. So we're so glad you guys are here to kick this off with us and kick off the new year the right way together as a tribe and starting new health practices. So this is going to be really fun for all of us. Myself, Carrington, and Ashley are going to be doing all of this with you guys too. So we're really excited. But the goals for this event, so we have a few goals. So first and foremost, we want to improve metabolic health to make your heart happy. So Dr. Wolfson talks about this a lot, and it's something that we are very passionate about too, is how much metabolic health impacts your heart health. And then we are also, one of our biggest goals is education. So we really want to provide you guys with the tools and resources to take this information and replicate it on your own. We also want to catapult all of you guys into optimal health for 2021. So that's one of our biggest goals too. The reason why we started this event on January 2nd, because we're going to start 2021 with a bang, getting to our health goals. And lastly, we actually want to put this education into action. And we're going to walk you guys along with each of these Fast Track weekend tips and tricks for getting started with these strategies for success. So it's going to be a really fun few days.
Okay, so we wanted to first start off by kind of sharing the link, the established link between, weight and health and metabolic health and overall heart health. We are the Doctors Wolfsons, the cardiac health coaches. And so what we're doing is we're really trying to not just improve weight loss or inflammation, we're trying to improve the actual health and strength of your heart. So according to the American Heart Association, cardiovascular disease, kind of encompassing the whole realm, heart disease, stroke, heart failure, high blood pressure, arterial disease, it kills around 801,000 people in the U.S. each year. It's the top killer in the U.S. Now, it can be argued that most of cardiovascular conditions are actually caused by metabolic disease, meaning those things can be reversed and controlled. And this is what we work with at our office every day. So this kind of realm of what we call metabolic cardiology is so important, not just preventing those conditions, but also reversing them. So there's so much science that supports this, and we've linked a few of them on the screen here. This is the latest science. It's where we're coming from. You can see the concept of cardio-metabolic risk, looking at the link between diabetes and heart health. Another title, Metabolic Cardiology, the missing link in cardiovascular disease, and cardiovascular consequences of metabolic syndrome. So metabolic health has to be a priority when it comes to heart health. The evidence is clear. We, the individuals, have to control the risk factors, whether that's high blood sugar, high inflammation, being overweight, being obese. Those are all characteristics of poor metabolic health. And so we want you to have your best health by controlling those things.
So with the connection between our metabolism and cardiovascular risk being so high, we need to focus on our daily habits to lower our risk factors and improve our health. And so now is the time to make changes. We're dealing with a pandemic that is highly linked to metabolic disease, or the risk factor of metabolic disease is highly linked there, but it's also the new year. And with this new year, it's a time when a lot of people are thinking about health and wellness goals, particularly weight loss. So this is also the time that most people are diving into diets, and then they kind of quickly lose steam 4 weeks later. And I just wonder, what if you had a strategy that helped you maintain your weight loss all year long, that really didn't feel restrictive? So I think that weight loss is a topic that most people have dealt with. Have you struggled to lose weight, or maybe you're eating everything healthy and nothing really budges? Maybe you, like I was talking about on our last live, kind of felt the dread of making some poorer choices around the holidays, and you're just like, oh gosh, like what am I going to do to kind of turn this around? But maybe you also just feel like it's really hard to stick to something. Like maybe you can do it for the short term, but inevitably you kind of go back to unhealthy patterns, and you want to lose the weight, but you don't really know how to like keep that going, and you kind of hate this cycle. And maybe like, have you ever felt like there isn't a lifestyle strategy that helps you maintain a healthy weight easily? You're either like an extreme restriction, or you're just living your life. There's no kind of in between. And that the only kind of way is that calorie counting and things like that. Or maybe you're just really confused of trying to navigate all the different strategies. Years ago, when I became a health coach, I wanted to learn about all of the different dietary theories and nutrition science, because I loved learning about it, but I was sent in 400 directions. I would read like a new book every month and be like, okay, now this is the best way to eat. And I had to go to school to learn all of them so that I could really figure out how to kind of discern that. And that's really like where we come in, is trying to help you put together those things. But after coaching so many patients, we can tell you for certain that there is one strategy that not only works for weight loss, but it delivers rapid healing for your heart and your mind and your body.
So just like Carrington was saying, this is kind of why you guys want to do a fasting protocol with some trained, qualified health coaches like ourselves. The missing success component that a lot of us are missing is that support piece. So we're going to be here for a lot of support for you guys over these next few days, answering questions. Like I said, we're going to end all of these sessions with a Q&A. So you guys are going to be interacting with us in real time. We can answer your questions, help you along. This is technically medically guided fasting. We're helping you guys do this in a very safe approach. Also, the education piece. So we're using proven psychological hacks that are going to help you make these sustainable habit changes. So if you understand the why as you are embarking on a new lifestyle change, you are actually more likely to sustain that lifestyle change. So that is why we are very passionate about the education piece. Us three, we really like to put together these presentations for you guys so we can really dive into the research and dive into this why piece. And it's not just the what, but we give you the how. So we're giving you guys protocols, steps to take, exactly what to do so that you feel less stress about going into a new lifestyle change. That's usually the most stressful part in itself, right? Is just figuring out the right thing to do or how to go about it. So we're going to give you guys those tools so that you don't have to worry about that piece. And we all thrive with encouragement, accountability, and support. So that is another big reason why we love getting these groups together. We love doing these kind of group approach, coaching style, education, programs. This is what we are extremely passionate about. We love getting you guys all together for this. So we're going to make the most out of that. And we all have things that we know we should be doing, but maybe we're not doing them. So we have behaviors that kind of sabotage us, or we have daily life stresses that are taking priority, or we just feel so confused on where to go next or what to do first, all of those stressful pieces. And I'm sure you guys probably feel frustrated. A lot of you yourselves have probably tried little mini experiments of different things you've read about online or different webinars you've watched, but maybe you weren't given these exact steps. Maybe you tried that one supplement that you thought was going to do the trick, or one dietary change, kind of like Carrington was saying, where, you think this one thing is going to be the end all be all, but it has never worked for you. So it's just trial after trial after trial. So you need proven protocols, not experiments. You need direct guidance instead of guesswork, and you need someone to help troubleshoot the challenges that are bound to come up. You need that encouragement piece for when you're ready to just give up, because we all get there sometimes, and celebration for all the hard work that you're doing and for your health. So this is what we're all here to do as well. And this is one of the huge benefits of group coaching style, like we're kind of experimenting with you guys here. We have a lot of people on today who are actually participants of our past group coaching program. So hello to all of you guys, and thank you for joining us again, because you guys know the power of this format. And like I said, we often know what we need to do, but we do not know how. So us coaches are here to give you that practical guidance to make these changes work in your life. And we really thrive off of that encouragement and accountability piece. So it really helps us to get to those goals a lot faster. And we recognize as coaches the role in business or in sports or, public speaking, or if you want to get better at anything, you hire a coach. So a lot of times we neglect this important piece in our health, which is arguably the most important thing we need a coach for. So this is why you guys want to go along through this 3-day event with us, and we are here to support you. So we would like to introduce our little sunshine schedule, which is what we're going to be talking about today. Us three were joking because sunshine schedule is kind of a tongue twister. We're going to be really hoping we didn't mess it up on this live. The sunshine schedule. So this is a vital component of our Happy Heart Diet program. The sunshine schedule is uniquely created by us three to enhance our own biology by following in the footsteps of our ancestors with the concept of circadian rhythm fasting and eating. So this is a really hot concept right now. Some of you may have seen this in other places, but we're really going to be applying this in a way that, again, you guys can take into your own practice for your daily lives and health. And it is all based on the sun, which many of you know Dr. Wolfson is extremely passionate about how intricately related the sun is to our health. So the sun is actually what sets our circadian rhythm and thus our metabolisms. So just like Ashley was talking about metabolic cardiology, this is a huge forefront of research for how we end up with cardiovascular conditions. We want to heal your metabolism, and the sun is hugely related to this. And this is because that rhythm expects us to eat during the day when the sun is shining, because for long periods in our past history, we didn't have electricity. We didn't have artificial light exposures. So we were only eating when we could see what we were doing with our hands and preparing with our in front of us. So we would fast during the night. That was our typical, daily routine, is eat during the day, fast at night. And in fact, there's some fascinating research that has found that calories eaten in the morning are metabolized more efficiently than those eaten at night. So all of our, hormones, all of our insulin sensitivity, those things are primed and ready to go first thing in the morning, peak of daylight hours.
Okay, so kind of going off of what Christina was discussing, this sunshine schedule is based on circadian rhythm eating. It's what we wanted to focus on. It's what we've had the most luck with, and why we're so excited to share it with you guys. So when it comes to eating healthy, again, we have to talk about not only what's on our plate, but what is on a clock. So all the emerging science, right, is revealing that when you eat is just as important as what you eat. And that's really what we want to stress today and over these next few days. Again, this is because our metabolism changes throughout the day due to our unique circadian rhythm and whether or not it's balanced. So our circadian rhythm, again, for those of you who may not be aware, is our body's internal clock that tells our bodies what to do at the right time. All the biochemical processes kind of revolve around this internal clock. Mm-hmm. So if you were to eat out of sync with your circadian rhythm, it's been shown to increase the risk of cardiovascular disease, diabetes, being overweight. But if you align your food intake with your circadian rhythm, it helps to maximize those beneficial effects like weight loss, better energy, overall health, prevention of chronic disease. Again, how is it done? It's done as what Christina was mentioning. It starts with the sun in the morning, which is what sets our circadian rhythm throughout the entire day. Again, the rhythm is most balanced by when you're eating in sync with that. So during the daylight hours, when that sun is shining bright, and when you're fasting, when the sun is gone during the nighttime. So there's, again, this kind of novel research that's shown that people who eat the most calories in the morning time or earlier in the day, those calories don't really count as much. So they get metabolized faster, as Christina was saying, and they tend to lose the most weight when you start to shift right back into sync with the circadian rhythm. So this is really why we're so excited to share this concept with you today.
So what is fasting? Intermittent fasting is simply voluntary abstinence from food and drink for a period of time. Fasting has been around as long as humankind has, not always by choice, but also in religious practice. Calorie restriction, on the other hand, is a method borrowed from physics. The definition of a calorie is the quantity of heat needed to raise the temperature of water from 0 to 1 C. So this method considers total daily energy expenditure, so the TEE, and eating fewer calories than we expend so that we are in an energy deficit and can lose that stored body fat. There are multiple theories explaining why fasting works and can provide health benefits. The first is hormesis, or the theory that small stressors inflicted on the body cause the body to become more adaptive to stress. The second is circadian rhythm, just like Ashley was just talking about, and the fluctuation of our hormones and particularly insulin responses throughout the day. Disturbances in this internal clock are highly correlated to metabolic disease. So essentially this means avoiding eating after dark and late at night when our insulin sensitivity is at its lowest point, and instead restricting feeding to a window that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about when that window, how long you make that window. So lastly, fasting can be interpreted as beneficial simply because it encourages the person to eat fewer calories overall if they were only eating in a shortened window. And so this improves compliance and takes much of the complexity out of dietary restriction that most people often struggle with. So a lot of the calorie counting and tracking every single meal and things like that it makes it more simple, basically. And our ancestors went through periods of feast and famine. So our bodies have evolutionary adapted to these patterns. These are not just when people say to us, I can't fast. I really can't. I just can't. They like the thought of skipping even one meal is terrifying. And so let us know in the chat at the end if that's you, because we want you to sort of borrow our confidence, our years of walking patients through this. You absolutely can fast. Your ancestors did this. And our bodies really haven't changed very much since thousands of years ago when they were eating like this. So you absolutely can fast. You absolutely can skip a meal and be healthy doing so. There's also many different religious practices utilizing fasting. And the reason is because when you stop eating, there is a spiritual sort of benefit to that, sort of You stop the endorphins and the dopamine high that comes from it that can almost kind of numb you or help you escape, and you're sort of very present in the moment. And so there's a lot of sort of spiritual benefits that can come from fasting. I think that's a beautiful thing to commit to in the new year. People talk about meditation and sort of different practices that bring you back to yourself, being silent with yourself, prayer, disciplines, and things like that. Fasting can really be incorporated in your spiritual goals as well. So what we would love to do is kind of have you borrow the confidence we have and do it with us. Trust us that you can fast.
So this is what the sunshine schedule is going to look like. You are going to be eating in the morning with the sun early in the day. So you're going to eat your largest meal of the day first, actually, full of healthy fats and low in carbohydrates. So this is a concept that we'll kind of be touching on a lot too, is it's going to be more beneficial for you in a fast to be eating a lower carbohydrate paleo diet so that your body does become more fat adapted and so that it's easier for you to go through the fast and tap into your body's own fat storages efficiently. So we're going to talk about that too, but we want you to eat that largest meal first thing in the morning, full of those healthy fats and low in carbohydrates, paleo-friendly foods. Just think of the paleo food pyramid. If you're not familiar with that, look it up on our website. It's a really great resource on the doctorswolfson.com is the paleo food pyramid. In the afternoon, you're going to have your second meal, and this could look like dinner. You know, this could be kind of your final meal of the day. You're going to stay hydrated. We want you guys to be drinking plenty of water. And in the evening, we don't want you guys to be snacking. We want you to go to bed as the sun goes down and turn off your screens, you know, limit that blue light exposure and stick to more soft red lights because all of these things are influencing your circadian rhythm. So part of what we're doing with this diet too is healing that circadian rhythm so that we can heal metabolic health and optimize hormonal processes in the body. So the more we do things in the morning with the light of day, bigger meals, you know, when your body is primed and ready to handle those things and start to limit those stressors later in the day, we're going to start to heal those processes in your body. And for many of us who are used to eating and cooking big dinners later in the evening before bed, you know, this schedule might be a little bit of a challenge. So we are asking you guys, you know, to think about your day a little bit differently as we go through this. But stay tuned because we will be sharing plenty of tricks to make this work for you. Even if it sounds a little bit scary right now, you know, we're going to help you guys to make this work in your lifestyle. And trust me, after this adjustment period you guys are going to experience, you are going to feel 100 times better eating this way long term. Your energy and your health will all reflect these changes and the benefits you will experience.
So I want to kind of pause here for a minute and ask you guys so
chat.
Yeah, maybe open up chat for this because I want to know who has tried intermittent fasting before. So like, I don't know, can you raise your hand in here? I don't know. Or just say me. And then I want to know if you've ever tried intermittent fasting for dinner, meaning that you have eaten your largest meal or your eating window was in the earlier part of the day. Because the reason why I ask that is because 95% of the people I've talked to that have tried intermittent fasting skip breakfast because it's the easiest one to skip, right? Like we just like have our coffee and carry on so that's like kind of the biggest thing about people trying intermittent fasting. I'm like, oh, that's so easy. I already don't eat breakfast. You know, I'll just, you know, take out the creamer in my coffee, or I just won't have coffee and I won't have anything, or I'll push back. So instead of eating, you know, at this time, I'll push it back till 1 p.m. or something. And so it becomes really easy. And so what we're asking you guys to do is to eat the opposite schedule. And I know that this can be a super big challenge socially and with your family, to go from eating your big meal with all your loved ones and friends in the evening to going in the morning. And so what I'll say about that is, just for these 3 days, you can do this with us. Give it a chance with us for these next 3 days. And then ongoing, we would like you to do this ongoing. This is a lifestyle change, not just a diet, but ongoing, it can be just as many days as you can. So if there's days where you have social things or you want to be with family, then you would, sort of add that, you would just that night, you wouldn't fast for that evening, but then the rest of the nights that week you would. So when we have goals of healing our metabolic system and losing weight, this is how it's going to go. So the next 3 days, we want you guys to kind of hang in there with us, try this out and commit to us. There's a reason why we're starting on the 2nd, capture you right when you have these New Year's goals. And also we're starting in the morning here because we want you to begin this practice today. So day 1 today, we're going to do what Christina said, low carb paleo meals, and we want you to stop eating after 8 p.m. So that would include your wine in the late evening that maybe you still have left over from the holidays, and any kind of, grab a little bit of nuts or popcorn or anything you would normally snack on in the evenings. We want you to not do any of that. So after dinner, after 8 p.m., there is no eating after that. That seems pretty doable. Everybody can do that, right? So these are small tweaks that give you big wins. So even if all you were to do is day 1's directions, it would be a big win for you for 2021. And so that's where we're going to start. But tomorrow, what we're going to do is we're going to have those low carb kind of paleo meals that aren't going to spike insulin. And then we're going to stop eating after 3 p.m. So we're going to take that intermittent fasting window that most of you have tried, and we're just kind of switching it the other direction. So make sure that you have appropriate plans for that. Maybe cook a meal for your family, but have your meal ready for the morning tomorrow and lunchtime tomorrow. On day 3 is going to be really exciting. This is going to be Monday. You're going to have one large paleo meal at the earliest part of your day, and then that's it. You're fasting for the rest of the day. So if that sounds terrifying to you guys, stick with us. We're going to be here each day with you. We're going to give you all the tips you need to be able to do this. And you're going to be okay. But those are the 3 days ahead. This is the sunshine schedule, eating with the sun, eating earlier in the day.
So lots of you guys mentioned in the chat, I was just reading that you have tried fasting. A lot of you have tried skipping breakfast, which, like Carrington was saying, I feel like that's the easiest approach for people to start with. And I think that's a great way to ease yourself into it. But this is where we're going to start really taking advantage of the science and the literature around fasting and how we can optimize those benefits that we're going to get from the fasting. We're going to, do it the most efficient and optimal way for our bodies and for our biology. So this is an easy strategy that we can practice together. This is why we're kind of starting you guys with this for the new year, new us, new health. So we're going to totally dive into this with you guys. And this is synchronized sunshine eating. So it's an easy practice to keep doing daily because most of us eat during sunlight hours anyways. Again, the hardest part is probably just going to be not eating that big dinner at night that a lot of us are socially accustomed to. So like I said, we're going to be giving lots of tips and kind of helping you guys through that if that's going to be a challenge for you. So some top takeaway tips that we want you guys to, take with you through today is let the sun be your guide. So really focus on daylight hour eating only. Eat earlier in the day, eat less later in the day. So exactly what we were saying earlier, we're going to eat that bigger meal first thing in the morning. Limit or eliminate snacking. So this is going to be more beneficial if we can really eliminate snacking between meals. Because again, we're trying to train our bodies to become more fat adapted. We want our bodies to be able to turn that metabolic switch pretty easily. So the more we can eliminate that snacking, the easier that's going to be for our body. And we want to find hobbies that we can do in the evening in place of eating. So, family time is one of the best things. Of course, you don't have to be eating to spend time with your loved ones. Activities, going for a walk, doing, a little bit of light restorative physical activity, some yoga, things that you can do before bed to get in a more relaxed state as well. A lot of people like to do their meditations and breathing exercises at this time as well. So anything like that we can encourage you guys to do in the evening as opposed to eating a large meal, that is what we want to get you guys in kind of the mode of thinking is, what can I replace my evening meal with? And we have patients and clients who will just create lists of things they can do instead of eating, which I think that's a really clever idea. You know, just pin that up on your fridge or in your bathroom or wherever you're going to see it the most frequently. You know, literally just a list of all the things you could be doing as opposed to eating. And that list is probably surprisingly huge. So, you know, start thinking about those things, and that's really going to help you.
Okay, so how to get started. As Carrington said, today is day 1. So day 1 is low carb paleo with no eating after 8 p.m. So we want you to begin by having this low carb paleo diet. And if you are a patient or if you've been in our past group coaching programs, you probably are already eating this way, just like our ancestors. But for those of you who are new, we have a depiction right here on the screen of the paleo diet. This was the pyramid that Christina had alluded to, the paleo pyramid. You can find this on our website, search it, print it out, put it on your fridge. This is just a great guide. So as we go on these next few days, it's going to be a good guide. But the paleo diet is really, it's the best type of diet for heart health. Dr. Wolfson has talked extensively on this. We speak extensively on this, but the research supports it. Again, we wrote that chapter in the textbook talking all about it, all the research. It's there medically for profound impacts on the heart. It keeps your blood sugar low. It lowers your inflammation. It makes you feel full. It boosts satiety. It makes you feel full and it keeps you full. So there's just so much benefit to kind of going back to how our ancestors ate. But the other reason why we want you to consume a paleo diet is it really starts to prepare you for intermittent fasting and kind of, more prolonged fasting as well. It's a great transition diet for that. So fasting is easier when you're low carb, and also eating low carb is easier when you're fasting. So the two pair well together. They go hand in hand. So we want you to go low carb paleo. It's going to make you better at burning fat for energy. It's going to build up your cellular health. It's going to help actually increase the mitochondria, which are kind of like the energy factories in your cells. And it starts to prepare you for more fasting. So it's going to set the stage for what we want to accomplish with you guys over the next few days. Take a look here on the screen. Again, this is a paleo pyramid. So what we're having you focus on is healthy fats, quality protein, and of course, organic vegetables. This is the magic of where paleo lies. It's the fat and the protein that really kind of helps with all the things we want to accomplish, but it's also the anti-inflammatory nature of this diet. It's going to lower inflammation around your cells and help your body be better apt to mobilize fat stores for fuel. So, start to explore this, explore some paleo recipes as well. And that's what I wanted to mention. We have so many great blog posts and resources on our website of tasty paleo recipes. So also get really excited if this is a new way of eating for you, because it tastes good and it feels good as well.
So your goal for tonight is to stop eating after 8 p.m., right? So after dinner, you're going to stop eating and you're not having any snacks. Now we want to prepare you that tomorrow your goal is going to be to skip dinner. So I'm really excited to hear some of the feedback from you guys, because I know there's a lot of intermittent fasters out there that are eating dinner every night. So this will be a total switcheroo on you. So we're going to be skipping dinner tomorrow night. So maintaining a low carb paleo intake throughout the day tomorrow. We want you to also just skip your dinner. So this makes it easier to stop eating by the time the sun goes down. And so we're keeping it simple today. And one way to kind of help you tonight is, so our best sort of tips is that don't sit in front of the TV, with popcorn. We normally are doing this with popcorn or some dark chocolate, or we just have a spot on the couch that we sit every night and we do this. We're going to kind of interrupt those patterns a little bit. So if you're struggling, maybe have a cup of tea, sit in a different spot on the couch so you kind of interrupt that pattern. and go to bed early. We want you to go to bed early. We want you to be like bored because you're not eating or cooking, and you go to bed and you get stuff done and you go to bed early. That's ultimately the goal, because we want to improve circadian rhythm and all of those hormonal processes. Go to bed as early as you can. And if you're up past the sun, which a lot of people are going to be this time of year, then be really mindful of the light that you're using. Get blue blocking glasses, just start turning off lights, start to signal to the body that, you know, it's the end of the day and it's time for the clock to turn off, you know, for you to go to bed. But if you're hungry, just go to sleep. That's what I say to my kids, like late at night. They're like, I'm so hungry. I'm like, you know what solves that? Just go to sleep. So I'm saying it to my kids. I'm saying it to you guys. If you're hungry late at night, go to sleep. Go to sleep.
So we wanted to leave some time for discussion today. Like I said, you know, we really wanted to make sure that you guys feel comfortable with the first goals that we are introducing to you guys. So like Carrington mentioned, just to reiterate that, today, just start to eliminate snacking. Try and stop eating by 8 p.m. Earlier, if you feel comfortable, maybe 6 p.m., you know, like see what you're comfortable with today. And tomorrow we are going to skip dinner completely. And we really want you guys to eliminate snacking by tomorrow. So work on that today so that by the time tomorrow comes around, we are all ready and on the same page. And then in tomorrow's discussion, we are going to discuss the next step. So we're going to keep challenging you guys little by little each day in this program. So we're super excited about that. But let's hear some questions you guys have. If any of this, you know, is new to you or you guys have questions or excited, let us know in the chat. We have that open for you guys right now. A lot of you are saying that you eat your biggest meal like, you know, early afternoon. That is awesome. So this will be kind of an easier shift for those of you who are already used to that, is just shifting that bigger meal even earlier to first thing in the day.
So we have lots of questions around supplements, and I believe we go into that tomorrow. So hang on tight about that. We're going to talk about that in more detail tomorrow. We'll support you around that tomorrow. For tonight, don't worry about it. Take your supplements, take your, just stop eating after 8 p.m. is the goal tonight.
And I'm going to reshare the goals, the Sunshine Schedule Challenge, because I've seen a few people who just joined and they wanted to see what that looked like. So as we go through this.
Yeah, take a little picture, a little screenshot of this, because this is going to be your little guide for the next 3 days. We also have a resource that we want to share with you guys, a little handout. So I think we'll be sharing that tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. It's going to have lots of good information on there for you guys to help guide you through this. But like I said, we're just starting really easy today. So
we don't have, a lot of you are asking for recipes. We're going to have recipes in the Happy Heart Diet, which we're going to tell you about in a few days. But for just these 3-day challenge, we're focusing on the Sunshine Schedule. So less about what you're eating and more about when you're eating, although our suggestion is the low carb paleo diet. Now, what you can do is go on our website. We have tons of recipes on the website that for paleo diet, and so you can find some resources there.
Jean and Allie actually has posted some, so look in there. She just posted 20 new paleo recipes to try.
Oh, good. Thank you. Jean says, I've been doing this entire last month intuitively, and I've lost 13 pounds. Oh my God.
Amazing.
Christy, who I've worked with as well, she was in our last program. She said these programs work. She lost 45 pounds with these coaching programs.
Wow.
I love people sharing.
We're telling you guys, like, these, it's not about, you know, setting this extreme goal for the new year where you're just like, okay, I'm going to change everything. And I'm going to just, you know, that going back to the psychology and behavioral science and how we actually make lasting changes. It's small, simple steps, simple tweaks that we are consistent with over time. So if you can switch your eating window and your eating schedule to eat with the sun, trust us, it will make a massive impact on your health for the next few years. Going forward, as you consistently do this, it will transform your health. Drinking herbal teas, Elsa, is okay during the evening. So that was one of our tips. If you're hungry, to have some herbal tea, some mineral rich water, that would be what we do. Ellen says how best to deal with a sweet tooth. So that's going to be about balancing blood sugar more throughout the day. So if you're used to eating really, this is a pattern I see in a lot of coaching patients. They fast for breakfast and they have kind of a light lunch and then a bigger dinner. And then all of a sudden the like angry sugar monster is like out in full effect in the evening. And then it's basically an imbalance of blood sugar, and your blood sugar is like basically trying to balance itself in the evening. And so you're craving sugar. So this will help that. This schedule will help that. Eating your biggest meal in the morning, it's going to help balance blood sugar. And just like Ashley and Christina were saying, the insulin resistance and things like that. It's also just getting used to being hungry, guys. Like, we are never hungry ever. Our ancestors didn't live this way. They couldn't just go to the fridge when they were hungry. They had to find food. And so we don't even know what that's like. So we're going to dive into this a little bit deeper, but encourage you to be hungry. There is benefits to your body to being hungry. And so getting comfortable with the discomfort of being hungry and knowing that that's going to be okay. Also, if you're used to eating, say, some chocolate and popcorn at 9 p.m., you're going to be hungry at 9 p.m. until your body gets used to that, until your body gets used to not eating at that time. Same thing with dinner. If you're used to eating at 6 p.m. and we're cutting out dinner, you're going to be hungry at 6 p.m. But it goes away. So it's not like you're going to have to be like, oh, like for hours. I want to eat, I want to eat, I want to eat. About an hour later, you'll feel that the hunger hormone kind of go lower, and it'll be easier to tolerate.
Somebody is asking if the Monday presentation will be recorded for those who work. It will be, and we will send out the replay. So stay tuned for that, because we'll have a lot of exciting things.
Mondays at night too, by the way.
That's true, 7 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, Mondays.
I was just able to publish our little handout for the Sunshine Schedule. So make sure you guys download that PDF, get your copy of that, because that is going to guide you through this 3-day program, this FastTrack Sunshine Schedule program we are doing. It's a really helpful little graphic about, exactly what we talked about today to get you guys started. So hopefully you guys can see that. It's should be in the offers I just posted.
And Ellen was asking, I don't know if you guys discussed this comment, but again, kind of I'm seeing similar comments like how to deal with a sweet tooth. So what we're going to say again is really focus on dietary fat and also protein. These keep you full longer, and they also balance blood sugar. So really trying to move those up and become kind of the primary focus of your meals. I know somebody else was asking about, they normally have fruit with nuts in the morning. Like, is that okay? Again, we want to challenge you to add more animal protein in, maybe even animal fat, like some good bison tallow, beef tallow, grass-fed butter, and start to shift what you're used to doing in the morning.
And it might be a challenge for a lot of you. You might not be hungry in the morning. And so you might be eating when you're not hungry. And that kind of goes against most intuitive kind of eating advice that we would normally give you. But it's only just to shift. So it's kind of like maybe you take some sleepy tea because you were traveling and you're trying to reset your circadian rhythm. You're trying to get your clock back in order, after traveling. It's the same thing. There's these exogenous triggers of that circadian rhythm. So if you eat or you show light to yourself during that time, it's going to trigger it. So eating early in the day, a bigger meal, you might not feel like it on that first day or the second day, but that's what we encourage you to do. We're sort of triggering that circadian rhythm early in the morning, and we're trying to reset it away from the evening time.
Someone asked you about a good breakfast example. I am going to share our little paleo cereal recipe, which is one of our favorites. It's a super high-fat, paleo-friendly meal that you guys will love. So I'm going to get that link for you really quick here. Another thing someone mentioned is the daily defense. Also, if you guys are having like chocolate or sweet cravings, that is a really great thing. You can blend into a really high-fat smoothie, maybe with some avocado or some nut butter, some nut milks. Really get some good stuff in there that's going to keep you full for a long period of time. Our daily defense, is pretty much like a comprehensive multivitamin as well. So you're going to get a lot of nutrition bang for your buck, starting your day with the daily defense. So let me get that link for the cereal recipe. The daily defense is just another great option for you guys.
And someone was asking about bone broth, if that was okay for the paleo diet. Yes, that's really encouraged. That's actually one of the things that I do in the morning. So for example, I actually sometimes will do like salmon, right, in the morning. So kind of counterintuitive with a bone broth latte. So I make some bone broth. I put some fat in there, either grass-fed butter or some tallow, some good spices. So yeah, bone broth is great.
Yeah, you just won't want to have it during the eating or during the fasting window. So after 8 p.m. tonight, you're not going to want to have bone broth. The protein in it can kind of pull you out of that fasted state. Someone asked about branched chain amino acids, like for workout during the fasted period. Well, for tonight at 8 p.m., I wouldn't recommend that because it's late, go to bed. But for tomorrow, if you wanted to work out after 3 p.m., that would be okay. I wouldn't do the branched chain amino acids though. Those are protein. Basically, they're going to pull you out of a fast. You can do them before inside your eating window, or just in the morning when you wake up the next day.
Brenda, yes, you shared your fabulous recipe for your bone broth in the morning. Great. She has brain octane oil in there, some vitamin A and D drops from us, collagen powder. I love that.
Coffee is okay in the morning. Just try to not add all the sugary things, sugar creamer, sugar, I don't know, syrups, whatever it is. Try to keep it paleo. Even though I guess technically coffee is not paleo. Debbie, hi Debbie. Debbie asked any vegetables to stay away from. No, not for this. We're just trying to talk about sunshine schedule for this.
So Ken, oh yeah, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Ken was saying he's allergic to gluten. Anything in the recipes that are gluten can't be included in my diet. Paleo diet is gluten-free. Our focus is on carbohydrates from vegetables. We're eliminating grains. So best diet for you, paleo.
Brad says, I work out in early morning. So how does this affect fasting? It's fine for fasting. It's actually going to put you into a state where you're able to burn those fatty acids even better because you've restricted the food intake. So your body is having to quickly use up the glucose in the muscles and we'll start burning through the fat to produce some energy. Just make sure you have mineral rich water with you during that time.
Someone also asked when the best time to exercise is on the sunshine schedule. That's a really good question. Earlier in the day, that's going to be the best time to really get those endorphins going, because if we do that later in the day, in the evening, or even close to bedtime, that is going to keep you up and it's going to send your body some mixed signals. And again, we're really trying to correct that circadian rhythm. So if we are, working to accomplish that, we really want to encourage those sort of really intense physical activity earlier in the day. I would say restorative activity, like I said, yoga, stretching, tai chi, qigong, things like that are fine later in the day to kind of get you ready for bed too.
Arlene says, I only sleep about 7 hours and have to stay up late enough to sleep until at least 4 and 5 in the morning. So Arlene, this is a question that you might want to reach out. We have free health coaching calls on our website to kind of customize some help for you. But what I would say, even in coaching patients that work night shifts, so truck drivers and medical practitioners and things like that are working night shifts, because we can't get around to the fact that they're up all night, what we at least try to do is control the trigger of food. So if we have light as the food trigger for circadian rhythm and we have food as the trigger for circadian rhythm, we try to at least eat during light hours and not during the evening. So you're going to be fasted for much of that time that you're awake. You're okay to do that. You're going to be safe to do that. Don said, is it okay? It's noon in Florida. Is it okay to apply the concepts for today? Absolutely, because your goal for day one is just to stop eating after 8 p.m. So you can absolutely do that.
So someone is asking about, is the higher fat good for fatty liver? That's actually a really good question. It's a question we get a lot. So this type of diet where you're getting really healthy fats that can lower inflammation, is actually really good for you. The key with fatty liver is to eliminate all those processed carbs, the things that are going to spike blood sugar. The other benefit to this diet is that it's actually rich in a nutrient called choline, and choline is also the best for helping to reverse fatty liver. So yeah, this is good for that.
Someone also asked if you can have nut milks. Yes, absolutely. Coconut milk, almond milk. Try and find really, good sources like organic options, or make your own, even better. We have a recipe for that on our website as well, to make your own nut milk. Could be kind of a fun little challenge for you. Also, something you can do instead of eating is to just prepare some stuff for the next day. That's a really good option too.
Marge asked, is fasting okay if you're 80? Absolutely. I have thrown an 85-year-old into a 5-day water fast. So you can absolutely do it. It's majorly beneficial. And just to reiterate, I see a lot of questions, guys. All of these are going to be recorded. All of these are going to be sent to you. We hope you can join us live, because we can try to see your questions and answer them. But if not, you're going to get the recordings for all of these. Hi, Peter. Peter says, is there a way to do a partial fast if you have hypoglycemic-like symptoms? And Peter's a great example of this, I know. And so be careful. What I'm saying is a lot of people interpret hyperglycemia symptoms, and it's actually not. It's mineral displacement. We're going to talk about that more. Having mineral-rich water, like a Pellegrino, putting a pinch of sea salt in your water, things like that. If you start to feel those hyperglycemic symptoms, if you start to feel a little off, we're going to talk about that more tomorrow. But if you truly are dealing with hyperglycemia, you've been tested, you have low insulin, you have blood sugar dysregulation, fasting is what you need to heal this, but you have to be careful and go a little bit slower with it. So for you, Peter, it's just going to be trying to focus your eating time into sunshine is going to be your main goal. And so fasting during nighttime hours. Colette says, I think the way you are doing this is fantastic. Little baby steps. When you go full force too much too quick, you can burn out quick. It's happened to me. Absolutely. I think people, it's like our nature. We just finally find some motivation and we're like, I'm doing a 7-day fast, or I'm going on a 30-day juice cleanse, or I'm changing my whole life. And then we burn out like 3 days in, and then we're just like over it, So I know it can be really exciting because you kind of are in that mode of trying to make these changes, but we want you guys to just baby step this. Focus on the sunshine schedule.
And someone asked too, is the higher fat good for fatty liver? The biggest thing contributing to fatty liver is sugar and, simple carbohydrates, things that, our liver has to do a lot of work to process, and especially high fructose corn syrup. So we are eating a very, healthy diet for your body and for your biology by switching to this paleo method of higher fat, lower carbohydrate, lower sugars. So yes, this diet would be totally fine for you. And the fasting too can be really restorative for the cells of your liver. So definitely encourage you to join us for this, also for healing effects for the liver.
So we are, through this 3 days, we're going to be focusing on this sunshine schedule, and we're going to be walking you guys through the baby steps of this. But I can already see that you guys have amazing questions on how to move forward with this. Where do we go after this? I promise you we're going to be answering those questions. On day 3, we're going to be presenting to you guys the next program, which is going to be a 21-day program about the Happy Heart Diet that we've kind of mentioned here. So this is a portion of our Happy Heart Diet. This is a sort of jump start into it. This is these daily habits. But there's going to be a larger program. So if you guys are like, okay, I get the baby step thing, but like I want the recipes, I want the full support, I want all the things, know that we've got a plan for you, and we're going to do that. So we want you to start with the sunshine schedule. We want you to start with these baby steps, and then we're going to tell you all about how you can keep going on from there.
I want to say something. So Brian just posted something. He was asking about the paleo diet. He said it's supposed to be a heart healthy diet, and Barb Harper thought this, but then he had a massive heart attack. Can you explain why paleo diet is still the best? So that's actually a really good question as well. So paleo diet, when we're talking about the paleo diet, we're talking about proper sourcing. So we want it to be organic, and we want that meat to be grass-fed. When you eat and consume grass-fed red meat, for example, it's an entirely different nutritional profile. That has been shown in the research to come in and shift your cholesterol from the harmful small type to the healthy, fluffy, large, benign type. It also has a bunch of omega-3 fats in there that massively drop inflammation. Now, same with animal fat. If we're sourcing grass-fed, pasture-raised animal fat, it's been shown to completely shift that nutritional profile and have beneficial impacts. Barb Harper was probably eating conventionally grain-fed, meat. He also had high LP(a). So if you're coming in and feeding that LP(a) molecule with that inflammatory type of meat, that's not good. But once you shift to the right type of meat and the right type of fat, you get profound impacts. And we don't just focus on the research. We see this in our clinic where we put people on with baseline tests. We put them on a good paleo diet, and things go back to normal, to the green and good. So I just wanted to make that clear that it's actually very heart healthy.
Yeah, we're so excited for you guys. So excited. We're going to be kind of doing this with you and fasting with you. Let's see, some more questions.
Crowd cow for grass fed. That's great.
Someone asked if stevia is okay. That is fine. Some people will experience some GI issues with stevia, so you might want to be aware of that. And just using smaller amounts than you would think, because stevia is a lot sweeter than even regular table sugar. So we definitely don't want to train your body to be addicted to that sugar still. So just really try and back off on the amount you're using of the stevia if you're using any, and that would be totally fine. And you can also find organic stevia as well, and that's great.
You guys have such awesome questions. I love this so much because we're going to be diving into more of these the next 2 days. Stay tuned. We have a lot. We have 2 more presentations for you, so we have a lot more we can talk. We're going to talk about fasting more. We're going to talk about the research a little more, and our 21-day program. If you want to dive deep with coaches that have been that have the experience of coaching cardiac patients around fasting, you're going to want to stick with us because we've done it over and over and over again, and we can answer all of these questions. I'm so glad to see some of you have started. So if you have events going on in the next 3 days that you didn't know about, and you're like, oh shoot, what am I going to do? I challenge you to jump in with us. Maybe you opt out for those meals. You host people, but you say, sorry guys, I'm doing this jump start. And I know that's really hard. It's also a practice, and maybe having to do this more often, where you are opting out of some of those social events to keep on the sunshine schedule. And I know, and I really deeply acknowledge how difficult that is, how this can make it feel like it's not sustainable over time because of the social challenge of it. But I promise you that even if you were to do this for the next 5 years and you only did it 3 or 4 days a week where you skip dinner, it would be massively impactful for you. I challenge you to stick with us at least for the next 3 days so you have the support. So if you try it and something's really hard about it, we can help you through that. But if not, just try it over the next couple of days after that. And if you can't because of social things. So all of the links and replays are going to be emailed to you guys. You should be receiving, right, Christina? They've either received or they're going to receive the link for, we have a whole infographic that
is under the offers, and we will make sure to post that during every presentation too. So in case you guys miss it today, feel free to just get on there on the webinar tomorrow, and we will have it posted again. Or if you want to email us, help@thedoctorswolfson.com. If you, for some reason, weren't able to catch that on here today, we can definitely email that as well. Oh, we lost Carrington. All right. Well, I think we're going to wrap it up for today, guys. This was so great to see everyone on here. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for taking your Saturday morning, January 2nd, first of the year, to join us on this and start a new healthy habit with us. We're excited to do this along with you guys. And like Carrington mentioned, this is going to lead into a greater program. If anyone is interested, a 21-day group coaching program around fasting. So we're going to keep reminding you guys, if you want more, if you're loving this, then we would love for you guys to join us on that. And that's going to start January 11th. Someone in the chat box did ask when that program is going to start. It's going to start January 11th. So there's kind of a week space of time for you guys to, join us on that and get registered. But we will make sure to share all the info on that on our last day.
Thanks, guys. Thanks all for your thank yous. Thanks for being with us. We're so excited. Join us tomorrow, same time, 11 a.m. Eastern. Yeah, right here with us. Oh, Carrington's back on. So
sorry, I clicked the sunshine schedule and it took me out.
I did that earlier.
So have an awesome day, guys. We'll see you back tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining us. Happy New Year, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Bye, everybody,
guys.